Okay, good Tavach, everybody. Thank you for inviting me. I was invited to talk about Perek Shirah, about Perek Shirah, and so I wanted to talk. I chose the posuk of the Leviathan, the Leviathan, which is a big sea monster. It's mentioned a few places in Tanakh, in Sefer Eov, and in Sefer Tehillim. And yet, we have a curious thing about Perek Shirah. Perek Shirah. In Perek Shirah, whereas generally the different creatures are saying a verse that mentions how they praise Hashem, the Leviathan says a different pasuk, a pasuk that we know very well. Hoidu Hashem ki tov, ki la'olam chasdo. Give thanks to Hashem, for He is good, for His kindness lasts forever. There's a pasuk we know. We say it all the time, and it's all throughout Tehillim, and also appears in Divrei Yomim. It's all throughout the Psalms and also in the Book of Chronicles. Why would the Leviathan, a giant sea monster, be saying this verse of all verses instead of a verse that actually mentions it? For example, the verse that we might know in Barchi Nafshi, it says, Zel Leviathan Yitzar Telesachik Bo. This Leviathan Hashem created, God created, to play with it as a plaything. So what's going on here? Why is he saying this pasuk? The Mabit, in his famous commentary on the Perek Shirah, actually in his version of Perek Shirah, has this pasuk earlier in Perek Shirah than what we usually have today. But that's neither here nor there. He says a very interesting interpretation of this. We know that the Medrash tells us that the Leviathan was created in the beginning of time, and yet it was made a male and the female was killed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to make sure that these giant monsters did not overpopulate the earth. Now, if that's the case, this creature was destroyed, and whereas in other myths and other cultures, it was a scary monster. Here, it's l'sachik bo. It's a plaything. This type of creature, then, he's not. It doesn't seem like he would have what to praise Hashem about. However, he says, "Hoidul Hashem ki tov ki olam chasdo." Give thanks to Hashem, for He is good, for His kindness lasts forever. Not a verse that mentions itself, but only a verse that mentions Hashem, because Hashem's kindness is ki la'olam chasdo. It's forever, from the beginning of time to the end of time. That from the very beginning, Hashem created this monster, and in the end days, the tzaddikim will eat from it when Mashiach comes, and will sit in the sukkah made from the leather, from the skin of this monster. And if that's the case, so then this creature recognizes that it's important to give thanks to Hashem no matter what. An interesting thing, the Noam Elimelech in this week's Parsha mentions that the Leviathan is a mashal sometimes for tzaddikim. The word Leviathan, is really a reference to our righteous tzaddikim, our holy people. Now, what does that mean? Because they're nilvel Hashem, they're connected with davuk, they have dveikus to Hashem. They're connected and glued to God. And if that's the case, how are they connected? We could possibly say like this, that because they're always giving thanks to Hashem, they're living with an attitude of gratitude, which we can all embody, because v'amech kulam tzadikim, we know that the prophet Isaiah, the Navi Yeshaya says that all your people are righteous, we're all tzadikim. That if we're constantly emulating this way of the Leviathan, of saying, Hoidul Hashem kilolam chasdo, that recognizing God's goodness from the beginning to the end, and that we all have a purpose and a mission in creation. That way we can be like the tzaddikim who are nilva Hashem, and that way we can be zoiche to be useful to the very end of time, and we all together can be zoiche l'shana ha'palesha v'sukkah Leviathan, like we say in Shmini Atzeres, that will be worthy next year to sit in the sukkah that's made out of the leather skin of the Leviathan. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. A good Tefach.